Hi, I'm back for my 10th draft video this time, and it's going to be in the Magic 2014 core set, which is a notoriously slow core set. I found myself drafting blue a lot, as is customary with slow sets, it seems. Well, so I guess I'll just get started and see my first pack. Okay, very good rare right off the bat, Planar Cleansing. There is also a Fire Shrieker and maybe a Giant Spider, and I'm not too excited about the rest. Maybe a Trained Condor, but Planar Cleansing is the best card in this pack. So, yep. Okay. Pretty much just Master of Diversion, maybe Blood Baron, Wall of Frost. Since I've already drafted a white card, I could go for the Master of Diversion, which is actually fairly strong. So yeah, I'll go for that. Ooh, Pacifism. Late Pacifism too. Pacifism is a first pick a lot of the time, so... Well, it looks like a rare and an uncommon were taking it over it, so I'm not too surprised that it's still in the pack, but I'll take it. Okay, so I've only drafted white cards and they're all good. So, looks like I'm going to try to play white as, like, you know, try pretty hard to play white. Okay, in this pack, pretty much what I see is Marauding Maulhorn, Trollhide, and Rumbling Baloth. I say Baloth, lots of people say Baloth. That does not hit the tongue right. Hit the ear right, I don't know, I like Baloth. And I really like Rumbling Baloth, and it's quite similar to Marauding Maulhorn, actually. Trollhide is good as well. I could just try to butt away from green and try to get as much good red as I can, so Marauding Maulhorn is the pick there. So, yeah. So I'm just going to avoid green because there were two good green cards in that pack, I guess. Now I'm sort of regretting that decision. There's a Trollhide. I think I'll just take the Master of Diversion here, though, to stick with my white. I mean, there's a ton of good blue in this pack, actually, too. So, actually, you know, I might just go blue because, well, I just said I draft blue in this format almost every time. It always seems to be open, and there's a Time Ebb, a Divination, and a Scroll Thief in this pack, so I think that's a pretty big signal. And like I said, I like to take signals at pack 5, which is where we are, so... I'm pretty equal on all of these cards, actually. I mean, I definitely pick Scroll Thief over Divination, so that's probably not in contention. It's either Time Ebb or Scroll Thief right now. And it looks like so I've got Master of Diversion, and that has actually pretty nice synergy with Scroll Thief. Or I could just take another Master of Diversion here, but I think I'd like to move in on blue, so I'll take a Scroll Thief here. Oh, well now I'm regretting my decision again. I could take the Goblin Shortcutter and try to draft an aggressive strategy. And it actually works out pretty well fairly often. And Goblin Shortcutter, well, it's not quite as aggressive of a format as like Zendikar, which is where the Shortcutter originated. So I might actually just take the Capuchin Knight here, or a Thunderstrike. I mean, there's a lot of black cards here, but they're not the best black cards, so I could probably just ignore them. I'm going to take the Capuchin Knight there. Okay, well, yeah, I would say white is open. I would also say green is open because a Spore Mound this late is fairly unusual. Or it should be, because Spore Mound is great. And so I see Master of Diversion and Charging Griffin. And Charging Griffin is actually very, very good, so I'm definitely picking that over the Diversion here. And there's another Charging Griffin and a Master of Diversion, so loading up on Yeah. And I'm still actually not sure whether blue is open or not. I mean, these are not good red cards. I mean, Academy Raider is okay. Okay, sure. Ooh, Fortify is a playable. There's 2 playables in this pack. Third to last pick. That's pretty interesting. Okay, well, there's a Domestication, which I really like. Actually, a ton of good cards in this pack, mostly at common and uncommon. I mean, mostly at rare and uncommon. So I see Domestication, Sarah Angel, Water Servant, Dawnstrike Paladin, Master of Diversion, Celestial Flare, which I like all of those. I mean, Sarah Angel is kind of bomby. I mean, Domestication isn't quite control magic in terms of power. Like, I would much rather get a control magic. Like, if there was a control magic in this pack, I would first pick it, like, easily. But Domestication is a little trickier, and I actually like Sarah Angel a bit more, so I'll take that. Ooh, Claustrophobia. I like Claustrophobia a lot. But being that it's my 3rd blue card, I'm not too excited about it, because double blue is sort of a hassle. But you just always have to pick your Claustrophobia. Like, there's nothing else that I really want in my colors that's in this pack. Like, yeah, there's nothing great in my colors in this pack. So Claustrophobia is the only good one. And it is double blue, which is a little sketchy, but it's going to have to work out. Ooh! A 3rd pick, Devout Invocation. This card is crazy, so very easy pick here. A 2nd, ooh. Very good white cards in this pack. I only want 1 Planar Cleansing. Now the choice is Banisher Priest or Sarah Angel. And I'm going to consult my curve for that. I really don't like passing either of them. I'm going to make the decision based on how much removal I have, which is actually not very much. So Banisher Priest is probably better here. Because if I'm passing a Sarah Angel and I don't have a way to deal with it, yeah, I'll take the Banisher Priest. Totally worthless mythic. Okay. I'll take a Fortify here. Sure, it seems fine. Archaeomancer, that's a good one. Although I actually don't have very much to return with it, so the value isn't really there. I'd like to lower my curve a bit, so I'm willing to take the Coral Merfolk here instead of the Archaeomancer. Seems fine. And a late Master Diversion, which is awesome. Yes, I stepped into white and it seems quite open, so... Stonehorn Chanter, sure, this card's actually fine. Or actually, Steel Form Sliver, maybe. But Stonehorn Chanter is just better, so... Oh, yeah, see? Wow, it is open. Celestial Flare, Dawnstrike Paladin, Master Diversion, Griffin Sentinel still in the pack. And those are all quite playable, actually, so... I'm trying to figure out, I still don't even know what my deck wants to do, really. It's just kind of a good stuff deck, and if it's a good stuff deck, Celestial Flare is a better card than Master of Diversion. So that'll be the pick here. I really would like to pin down what my actual deck is trying to do, but I don't know. Century Deprivation solid. Very late planar cleansing, so I'll take that one. Tidebinder Mage is okay, but as my 6th blue card, I really want to be casting it on turn 2. I think I'm a little happier taking either Time Ebb or Celestial Flare here. And I like the Celestial Flare more because it's actual removal. Yeah. It's not quite targeted, so if it was... Yeah, well, there's a 3rd Celestial Flare. I think I'm going to try to make this as controlling of a deck as I can. Because with 3 Celestial Flares and 2 Planar Cleansings, I think that should be quite easy. Yep. Pretty late Chandra's Outrage there. Okay, what's my control win condition, I guess? Sarah Angel? Sure. Charging Griffins? And a Devout Invocation, I guess, so... It's a controlling deck, and... Okay, I always want the first Essence Scatter. Phantom Warrior cannot be guaranteed to be cast. So I like the Essence Scatter. Okay, well there's a... second Sarah Angel, and I really do want to stock up on actual win cons, because control decks are really bad if they can't win. I mean, once again, I have to choose between a Sarah Angel and a Banisher Priest, which is a terribly mean choice to have to make. So... I actually like Banisher Priest more. Oh, gosh. Sure. And if that Sarah Angel somehow wheels, I will be quite happy. Quite unlikely, though. Sensory Deprivation, that's good. And I'm gonna shy away from double blue, so Frost Breath is fine. Another Siege Mastodon seems okay. Ooh, second Essence Scatter is quite good, so I'll take that one here. I'm probably not going to play my Fortifies given the turn my deck has taken. And no surprise there, Sarah Angel didn't wheel. Yeah, my double Planar Cleansing. I can win with Devout Invocation, which seems fine. So, I'm willing to play Claustrophobia despite the double Beluge because it's so awesome. Yep. So, just stocking up the deck with the cards that I'm pretty sure I'm going to play, so... Oh wow, 29 playables? I have to cut a bunch of stuff. Probably in the realm of creatures. I doubt I need Siege Mastodons. I probably don't even need the Merfolk. And, you know... I'll cut... I'm trying to figure out whether to cut Claustrophobia. What I really want to do is have double white on turn 2 for Celestial Flare, so, I mean, Claustrophobia is awesome, but I'm willing to cut it here. And I can probably cut creatures, since control is the turn the deck has taken. And I do not need, like, an overload of bears, really. So I can cut the Merfolk. So I'm going to say 7 islands and 10 plains. Seems fine. Okay, and we'll start. Okay, well this hand seems quite awesome, so easy keep. And hopefully I can counter turn 3 play. Awesome, perfect. Okay, so I can swing, and I will probably be able to Celestial Flare the Root Walla. I have all 3 Celestial Flares in my hand. This hand is like stocked with removal. And get in for 2 more. And I'm probably going to get swung at again. Celestial Flare again. The best part about Celestial Flare is that the only way to play around it is to not attack. So, not the best strategy. Ooh, Magentic Sliver, that's a little scary. And I would expect both to attack next turn, so Celestial Flare doesn't actually do me any good, because it just kills the Manawef Sliver and not the Magentic one. And Magentic is a much bigger problem, so I'll probably just Banisher Priest after pumping this guy once, post, second main. And yeah, I don't really want to deal with Magentic Sliver. Nor do I really want to deal with this guy, but actually that's not too much of a problem. I can just tap him. And then Celestial Flare him on the attack if he comes at me. I'm just going to get in with all those, and I meant to play the Sliver there. That was... Fortunately, I'm still going to get the Behemoth here, so that's fine. And I have lethal this turn, so that's a good situation to be in. So I'm going to tap down the Manawef Sliver, and I'll even pump this guy up a couple times just for buffer. So there we go, GG. Okay, well, this hand has Devout Invocation, so I guess I just try to make this game last as long as I can. And it's making it pretty easy for me when there's no play until after, apparently, turn 4 or 5. I mean, sorry, 4. Well, I'm just going to Banisher Priest that, sure. And I'll just play the Griffin. I guess I can play this hand sort of aggressively. So yeah, I get in with a bunch. Actually, I think I'm racing pretty effectively here. I probably don't even have to try to play for the control, so I can just keep hitting in for a couple points every turn. And yeah, I can get them down to 1. Yeah, so easy lethal, no flyers, no spiders, so dead. Awesome. Didn't die in the first round, I still haven't yet, which is kind of awesome. Like, I do not want to have to deal with a crappy video where I die on the first match and then have to go find a cracker pack in like some other mode. It's just messy, so at least I've had a real video every time. Like, it's not like I never die in the first round. That doesn't make logical sense. That would almost suggest that I just never lose. Okay, this is a good hand. And 2 early sets 3 deprivations for annoying little aggressive people like Goblin Shortcutter. Your Goblin Shortcutter now does nothing. And I can probably get the Firecat on the Celestial Flare here. Bam. And I'll even go right ahead and use useless Canyon Minotaur. So, Awaken the Ancient. Okay, that's a little annoying, but it actually means that I'm going to get a huge tempo swing by Banisher Priesting that. And actually, it kills the aura straight off, so I get nothing but value out of that, even if the Banisher Priest gets killed and they get the mountain back. So I'll just swing first this turn. Oh wow. Okay, well, first strike at +2/+0 on the Candy Minotaur kills my Master of Diversion. But I have a Dawnstrike Paladin out, which I actually like quite a bit. The card seems good to me. Well, not good. Like, a Seraph of Dawn is like infinitely better. But this is not Avacyn Restored, so I'm sort of pretty happy to play my Dawnstrike Paladins. But But I have a Devout Invocation next turn, which is kind of like a guaranteed win. Well, not necessarily next turn. Maybe the turn after if I don't draw a land. And I'm actually on a fairly quick clock due to the Nightshade. Well, not anymore. Okay, so I just need to draw land, and I'm golden. So, tap these two, and I have 2 angels. Alright, well, I still have 2 angels, so I don't know what you're going to do about it. 8. And you're not going to gain any life, because I'm going to Celestial Flare that Child of Night. And then I'm just going to kill you. Alright. Game 2. Oh, I've never even seen my Planar Cleansings yet. They should serve some good. Hopefully I can counter something that's worth countering. Actually, pretty much anything is worth countering when I already skipped a turn to leave something up, so I'm willing to counter almost anything with Essence Scatter. Even that, sure. Okay, I'm not really willing to Celestial Flare the Festering Newt. It's not doing enough. So I think I'm just going to Frost Breath actually next turn to save me some time. And so I'll get down a Master of Diversion, which seems good. Okay, Goblin Shortcutter comes down, which is fine. And so I'm going to Devout Invocation for just 1, because 4/4 Angel is just always good. Okay, so if the Master of Diversion dies, I'm forcing a trade. Okay, well, it just goes right through. I'll have you sacrifice 1 of those, I guess. Almost lethal, that was a close one. But I have lethal, so... Okay, well, turn 1 Elvish Mystic is pretty scary. I'm just gonna play out a Sentinel Sliver. Okay, oddly, Hunt the Weak just gets played and it looks like nothing happens, I don't know. It's kind of weird. Yeah, that's probably gonna get Celestial Flared next turn. That thing's a giant royal pain. I'm not gonna play the Scroll Thief. I really want to Celestial Flare that as quickly as possible. Oh, this doesn't even work. Ugh. The Mystic just gets sacrificed if I do that. I'm willing to trade. Oh, geez, now there's 2. Ugh, yuck. Yuck, yuck. What I'll probably do is I'll just Serra Angel right now. It'll probably get tapped down, but that's saving me a turn anyway. And then I'm just gonna get in, and then I'm gonna double flare it the turn after. Okay, so that was good. And if no block, actually I'm in really good shape now, because even if a blocker gets played out, I just Banisher Priest. Well, I guess Claustrophobia does it, but if a blocker gets played out, I usually could just Banisher Priest, get in and draw a card. And drawing cards is very strong. I don't know if you've played Magic before. I would assume you have if you're watching this. But drawing cards is very good. And this is absolutely worth Banisher Priesting. Okay, this person's deck seems actually pretty crazy. I saw 2 Air Servants and a Clone already. And a Claustrophobia. And I'm just going to swing in for lethal right now, so... yeah, there's that. Okay, Deadly Recluse, super annoying. But if it has no power, it's not super annoying at all. I'm pretty sure sensory deprivation is extremely underrated. Okay, get in. I'm pretty sure I did not need to run 2 planar cleansings, like, not even close. It seems like every time I'm winning, I'm just beating down, like, actually even more than the opponents I'm dealing with. And it looked like this deck was fairly controlling, but I'm questioning that at this point. It actually seems pretty mid-rangey. But the fact that it has 2 planar cleansings is kind of weird. I don't know. It's kind of weird that I even got 2 planar cleansings. And if they were commons and I'd played with them more, I could say with probably some certainty that you do not want to run more than 1 planar cleansing in your deck. But I don't know, I get sort of excited since they're rares and I'm willing to run them. And they're good, like, planar cleansing is a strong card, and it's definitely defensible to run too, I guess, because they're crazy. You can get like a 5 for 1 with them. Well, that seemed very quick. I'm going to collect my prizes and do my Cracker Pack, I guess. Ship and Dragon as a promo. Okay, Lay of the Land. This card doesn't really do very much, and it's barely card advantage. You'll usually just rather run a land instead of Lay of the Land to find a land. The one thing it's really good for is splashing, so if you're splashing like 1 card, you could consider running Lay of the Land. But other than that, I would say the card isn't super great. It doesn't actually do very much. Yeah, I'm pretty, like, this has probably been brought up before. 1/1s are just not very good. Like, 1/1s that don't do very much are not worth a card. And Merfolk Spy is a 1/1 for 1 that has 2 very weak abilities on a 1/1. Like, the reveal ability is dumb. The Island Walk ability, even when it works, is still just netting you 1 damage a turn, which isn't good. Yeah, I would probably not ever run this. Okay, Brindlebore. I've heard the creative nickname for this card, the Baconator, or maybe that was a nickname for another card that was similar, I don't know, but that's a pretty interesting interpretation of the flavor. Anyway, this card, you usually don't want to run this. It's kind of maybe okay filler if you're green and just have very few playables, but other than that, it's not super good. Okay, Child of Night. This card is quite good. If you're on the play and you play this turn 2 and they don't have like a counterplay on turn 2, you have a 4-point life swing just on the bash. And even past that point, you will probably often get more 4-point life swings if they get in, or just trade and gain you some life. It's quite good, actually. Like, deceptively good for just like a bear, so keep an eye out for these, they're pretty solid. Okay, as a vanilla test creature, this thing does not pass even close, but Slivers is a real archetype in M14, so you could pick these once you know you're in a Sliver archetype. There aren't very many cards that get me to go into a gimmick archetype like Slivers. Like, the ones that really make me want to play Slivers are the rare Slivers, which are, well, not the black one, actually. Well, okay, there's a couple Slivers that really make me want to play Slivers, and that's pretty much Bone Scythe Sliver, Magentic Sliver, and Thorncaster Sliver, because they're all really good. So if I see one of those, I might try the gimmick Sliver strategy, but without those, I'm not going to draft Slivers. It's not my favorite. But yeah, that's a sliver. So in a sliver deck, you'll draft every sliver ever, so you're fine with this. Okay, Academy Raider. This card's a little bit underrated. If it can get in, it's a looter. Well, it's not quite as good as like Merfolk Looter even then, because you have to discard first, but it's still quite playable. I pick these relatively early, probably earlier than most people, but okay, relatively early to me means like 8th. But I think you'll play these in your red decks, although some of them are aggressive and it does not match aggressive strategies very well. But if you have a ton of burn, it helps to churn through your deck to find them and stuff. But it's just a solid playable. Yeah, they're fine. Okay, Undead Minotaur. Once again, not very interesting, but it's fine. It's a 2/3 vanilla for 3, which there seems to be some of in most sets, and they actually make pretty decent blockers against all the bears in the formats. So yeah, you pick these not very highly, but you pick them late and play them pretty reliably, so yeah, go for it. Okay, Fog. The situation's like, Fog is one of those cards that's very storied. Like, you hear the crazy Fog play, like, they're swinging at you with everything, and you fog them, and you swing back and kill them. But really, Fog is quite terrible. The times when that actually happens are so rare, and the times when that doesn't happen, it's not doing very much. So, don't play Fog, ever. I don't even really know what sort of deck you side them in against. I'm pretty sure they're just not that good. Okay, Spore Mound. This card is one of the best green commons in the set. Like, I mean, a 3/3 for 5 isn't that great for green, but the ability on it is quite strong. The landfall 1/1 token is awesome. Like, just repeatable tokens, like, after a few turns of just sitting there stagnating, eventually you'll have a sizable enough force to get in there for the rest of your damage, and it's just really strong. I picked these 3rd, 4th, 5th. Okay, Armored Cancrix. This isn't that good of a card, but it's surprising how often the card actually makes your deck, because it actually fills a fairly important role as being a solid wall that stops low toughness creatures. So you'll actually play these more than you'd think, even though you don't pick them very highly, because they make pretty good filler. So yeah, in a control deck at least. You're obviously not going to play this in the crazy aggressive blue flyer deck, but still. Okay, Vial of Poison. It basically reads 1, destroy target blocking. No, it doesn't quite read that. Destroy target blocking creature at end of combat. And it's not a surprise. So, since it's colorless, I actually find myself picking this quite a bit, but it's not that good. It's not a surprise. I don't know, it does kind of make combat awkward, so, I mean, you're not going to pick these over, like, awesome cards, but they're not the worst thing to run, although they're not guaranteed to do very much. I occasionally run these, but I'm not too super excited about it. Okay, Battle Sliver. In the Sliver deck, every Sliver is awesome, and especially ones that actually give abilities, unlike Sliver Construct. But Battle Sliver is actually one of the better Slivers in the Sliver deck, because like, it just puts so much power on all of your force, and it's just quite good. And even I'd play them occasionally outside of the Sliver deck, just as a 5/3 for 5, which is actually deceptively playable. Yeah, I'd play these every so often. Okay, Windstorm. I mean, I'm sure everybody's seen Plummet. It's pretty much the green sideboard card against flying creatures and stuff. And Windstorm is pretty much the same way, except it has potential for 2/1 or 3/1 or whatever. So it's probably a bit better than Plummet, because it's rare that you actually need to Plummet something super early, in which case Windstorm is just better because it can 2/1. So it's better than Plummet, but I don't always play Plummet, so yeah, it's in sort of a gray area. But Tidebiter Mage is actually quite good. I'm trying to see if there's anything in this pack that I like more than it. Maybe just Spore Mound. Maybe not even that. But this pack is actually kind of weak. Tidebiter Mage is good because you'll play bears in your deck. If your deck is heavy blue, I wouldn't first pick this because it makes you quite committed to blue, because if you're not playing this on turn 2, it's not that good. Or no, it's solid as a late play, as long as you're playing against green or red. Like, you might hold it in your hand against a green or red deck, but early on you just want to be able to play it turn 2, and if you can't play it turn 2, then it's kind of like a 3-mana 2/2, which is not good. So, I mean, it's good as a bear, because most decks play bears, and it's also randomly good against certain decks. And I actually don't think it's the highest pick in the world. It's just not super reliable, and when it doesn't do anything, it's a bear, and yeah. So I think the safer pick here is actually Spore Mound. That's what I would pick out of this pack. Followed not so closely by Child of Night. But yeah, this pack is quite weak, actually. Anyway, yeah, I'll just take a look at my other rares and bid you good day. Mindsparker, Majantic Sliver, Garrick, awesome, Siphon Sliver, and I won again, so sneak peek. Magic 2010. Going through all the core sets, I guess, and yep, thank you for watching. I'm going to sign out.